What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about manhwa. Alright, now let's get into it. So in today's video we're going to be talking about manhwa, and in particular I have 3 manhwa that I would suggest or recommend to read because I've done a little bit of tasting the waters with manhwa, and I've come up with 3 good novels or stories or manhwa that I would like to share with you guys, and just to get these titles out there, even though one of them doesn't really need it, doesn't need the exposure. But you know what, I think that these 3 novels or manhwas are really good to read because of what's going on in the story and how they're set up, and the arts as well. With all the new wave of manhwa sweeping over the animated community, with multiple manhwa getting adapted into anime, like the Crunchyroll manhwas getting adapted, like God of High School, Noblesse, God. We're starting to see a lot of manhwa becoming popular, and the reason why I wanted to do this is so you guys can see other variations of manhwa that haven't gotten adapted, that probably will get adapted in the future, so you guys can have read it already and know the source content before you see the animated product. Alright, the number 1 and probably the most hyped one, if it does get an anime, is going to be Solo Leveling, because Solo Leveling is probably one of the most popular manhwa that's known. A lot of the manhwa don't really have that big of a fan base, but I think that Solo Leveling is probably one of the most popular ones, since I guess it blew up in the West and a lot of people are talking about it. And I think that this is probably has to be one of the most hyped up manhwa, and if it does get an anime, it's going to be really, really big, probably even bigger than God of High School at this point, because of just how many people have probably read Solo Leveling already, and how many people just know the name by merit of people talking about it. Let me talk about Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling has basically everything that you can ask for in a power creep or power fantasy type of novel. So basically Solo Leveling focuses on Sung Jin-woo, who's the main character of the story, and he's basically a hunter that basically gets a video game type of system due to him failing a dungeon, and basically everybody just getting wiped out. He gets a new little system since he's the survivor, and basically it makes him work out and makes him do challenges so he can become a better rank of a hunter, so he can become more powerful. And this makes him, in the future, it makes him a strong, badass individual, and he just becomes, he's basically Goku. Like he just becomes a alpha type of dude, and it's just crazy to see the Sung Jin-woo now, and compared to the beginning of the series. He was basically this weak little guy, and now he's a crazy 6-pack freaking dude that has a freaking army. It's really interesting, and if you guys want to go, I don't want to spoil a lot of things, so if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, it has a very interesting power system. There's a lot of characters, but since the title is Solo Leveling, it focuses a lot on Sung Jin-woo. So if you want or side character development, there's not going to be a lot of it, but there is a lot of power fantasy, power creep in Sung Jin-woo, and you get to see how he develops as a person, how he develops as a person with the power that he's getting, and how he wants to change the world with that power. Alright, so, and then the next one that I have is Breaker. Breaker is kind of the opposite of Solo Leveling. This guy, the main character of this series is Sin Woon-yi, I think it is, and this is basically the student. He's basically getting bullied all the time, and he's just had enough of it, and he wants to learn martial arts. And apparently, this guy, this mysterious teacher is trying to do something behind the scenes at a school. Basically, plot device, him getting to meet him. This teacher and Sin Woon-yi basically get to have a teacher and disciple type of relationship. It kind of knocks it off, as Sin Woon-yi has a knack for martial arts. The teacher is very important, so I'm not going to really spoil that much, but the teacher knows a lot about martial arts and teaches him a lot of things that basically help him to become a well-known martial artist, or not a well-known martial artist, but he basically gives him the foundation of martial arts, and basically sets him, just basically abandons him. And then that's kind of what happens, and basically Sin Woon-yi has to basically fend for himself, because there's a lot of martial arts or martial art figures or martial art clans that are after Shin Yi's teacher. So it's basically him versus the world at this point, and he has to find relationships, he has to find alliances to protect himself, so he protect himself and his friends, and he has to get stronger, protect the people around him, since this whole society is after him because of the relationship he had with his teacher. And this is a really cool power creep, power fantasy as well. I would say it's not as similar as Solo Leveling, because Shin Yi, he's learning from people around him. It's kind of like a Dragon Ball type of feel, but in the sense that Shin Yi is basically by himself. He has to start life over to protect those people, the people he holds dear, and to protect the people that are not a part of the society. That's why I really found that interesting. There's a lot of side characters and development that I really liked. Which is why it's not similar to Solo Leveling. He starts off as a weak, really guy, and then he becomes really cool badass in the end of the series. And it's really cool to see that development throughout the whole series. Plus, the art of Breaker is really, really good. It's probably one of the best arts that I've seen it kind of has that manga type of vibe, because most of the manhwas they look like light novels, or not light novels, but webtoons. They're colored in, and they kind of look like have that webtoon feel to them. But for Breaker, it's more of a manga type of style. It's black and white, and there's a lot of very good artistically developed emotions and very good fight scenes that kind of surpass just drawings, and it's pretty awesome to look at and read at the same time. So I would suggest you guys to go read that if you guys haven't already. And then the last one is Love Parameter. This is basically my first dip into the ecchi genre of manhwa, and geez, when I dipped in, I didn't think I was gonna dip in that far, because it was really in manhwa they do not hold back. Like in manga, it's a whole different world from manga. In manhwa they do not hold back. Everything is there. So if you guys are interested in looking at that, you go ahead and check this one out. But Love Parameter is basically this guy, he gets a hold of a pair of glasses, like always. He gets to basically have these RPG type of choices, so he can pursue these love interests in his life. All those things, like, he kind of gets out of hand, and he starts just piling them on, and then later on in the story, it's his world is just crashing down because of all of the choices that he's made in the story. So if you guys want to go ahead and see that, and see the subtle message at the end of what the author is trying to portray through the story, I would recommend you guys to also go read that one as well. But if you guys liked the video and enjoyed it, go ahead and like it and subscribe and tap the bell notification so you guys can know when I post the next one. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Go.